In this video, I'm going to go through the process of replacing a thumb wheel on a Panasonic GX85 camera. The tools required are a small Phillips screwdriver, a pair of tweezers, and a plastic prying tool. We're going to start off by removing the battery and removing the memory card if there is one installed. Next up, we're going to use the Phillips screwdriver and start removing some screws. I'm keeping track of each screw by number, and you can see the little holes at the top of the tray are numbered to match the screws that are coming out. On my camera, each screw of a different length was marked with a different color of Loctite. So you can see the first one is yellow and number 3 is red so far. Opening the door for the USB access, there's a screw hidden in there. That one's going in the number 2. Next up, we're going to remove the hot shoe flash cover. This is a little bit tricky, but effectively you're trying to lift the spring clip underneath and slide it out. This could also be done with a small pair of tweezers. Next step is removing the screws that were hidden underneath that spring clip. All of those screws are going to go in the number 4 slot. Lifting the screen out of the way shows one extra screw just under the viewfinder. Now we can carefully separate the front panel of the camera from the rest of the body. This was a little tricky to do around the thumb wheel and did require a little plastic prying tool to get it to pop off finally. Once this is opened, it reveals 2 ribbon connectors. Both of these require a little plastic black tab to be flipped up. That's what I'm doing with the plastic tool. One on that side and a small one down at the bottom right. Once those tabs are flipped up, the ribbon cables can be pulled out. Now the back part of the camera is able to be removed. Next up, we're going to release the ribbon cables that will allow the top of the camera to be removed. There's one on the left side, just under the viewfinder. Again, this requires lifting the little plastic tab and pulling the ribbon cable out. The next one is on the right side at the top. And then there's one more screw on the right side. Now the top of the camera can be released. This is again just plastic clips, so carefully remove it. There are a few more ribbon cables underneath, so be very gentle and you'll have to release those as well. Now that this has been removed, you can see the scroll wheel that we'll be replacing. I purchased the scroll wheel on AliExpress. I'll share a link in the comments. The scroll wheel requires 2 screws to be removed, as well as unplugging the cable. These screws also hold in another clip on the camera, which will have to be put back in place before putting the new scroll wheel on. To install the new scroll wheel, first plug in the ribbon cable, followed by the 2 screws that were removed. Now that the scroll wheel has been attached, we can start to reinstall the top portion of the camera. This can be done by first installing the ribbon cable that's sandwiched between the top of the camera and the main camera body. Make sure to flip the plastic black lever on the connector shut once the ribbon cable has been installed. The ribbon cable on the right side of the camera can now be installed. And the black lever can again be flipped shut. Making sure none of the remaining ribbon cables are being pinched, the top of the camera can be snapped onto the camera body. The remaining 2 ribbon cables on the left side under the viewfinder can be installed. The one on the right side clicks into place and does not have a lever, and the one on the left side clicks into place and then has a lever that's folded flat. We can now start installing screws to hold the top of the camera on. Next up, we're going to install the 2 ribbon cables between the rear panel of the camera and the main camera body. Starting by the large one on the left side of the camera, this one can be pressed in and the black lever can be folded flat. Next up is a small ribbon cable on the right side of the camera. This one just clicks in. Now we can reinstall the whole rear panel of the camera. This should just snap into place. Now that the camera has been reassembled, we can go ahead and install the screws in the opposite order that they were removed, starting with the one under the screen. Next step is the 4 screws under the shoe. Now we can install the spring clip. This should snap into place. Next we can install the cover. And then a few more screws on the bottom of the camera. One screw on the right side under the scroll wheel. Another one under the charge port cover. And the final screw on the bottom of the camera as well. And now we can turn the camera back on and make sure it works. Scroll wheel appears to be working much better than previously. Hopefully this video was helpful. Thank you for watching.